Okay, welcome back to the Student Lounge. This is episode 4, if I'm correct. And yeah, we first week back from school. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing good. A bit tired, getting back into the routine, but yeah, it's going good so far.
Yeah, how was doing the tests?
It was interesting, bro. It was interesting because they let us do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do
Yeah,
it
I
right.
I didn't think it was as bad as everyone told me it was going to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't so bad because when you have other people do it, they like do it really fast or something, and then it's uncomfortable. But when you do it yourself,
But
it's
I think
a bit
what I had
better
in
'cause
my
you have
mind,
more control.
I thought we had to put it all the way up our nose,
Oh.
and that's because that's what people were doing before. But it was not the same thing anymore. So
yeah.
You just have to put it quite deep up your nose. Just
yeah. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. I think we have to do it twice a week now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know all the teachers said now for school, because we kind of missed quite a lot of units during lockdown, the work's gonna pile up a lot right now.
Yeah.
And I can already see that happening.
Yeah, even though it's
Yeah.
only been a week.
Less than a week as well.
Yeah, less than a week.
Oh,
Yeah, there's already loads of work to do this weekend.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of work, man.
But
So-
on the bright side, on Fridays now, we just have a test every week.
For
So
what class? Oh yeah, for COVID, yeah.
COVID, so we kind of missed the last period.
Yeah, that's a bright side, yeah.
Because we have a free on the 8th block, anyways. So
Yeah.
Today I had to do my COVID test twice today
Wait, why?
because the lady dropped the stick.
Oh,
So that was
worst
uncomfortable.
thing that can happen, bro.
Sorry?
That's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, I know.
the only thing I don't get is I don't understand why they trust us to do it ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think I did it right.
But I mean, wait, didn't they say after next week we're gonna just be taking them home to do it?
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
I heard a school in the UK there was a scandal because they were not doing the test properly and they were faking them.
I'm sure a lot of people are doing that though.
Yeah. But I think our schools got it pretty well under control right now, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of COVID, there's a lot of stuff that's happened around the globe.
Yeah.
In Brazil, I think there was a report warned that the country's intensive care is close to being overwhelmed because I think infections hit a new daily record there,
Oh, okay.
which is like what we were experiencing in around October times.
Okay.
That's quite surprising because there's a vaccination program there, right? It's going
but
on.
there's
So
also
you'd expect it to go down.
there's also a new variant in Brazil, I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah, it came to England. They found the guy who had it, right?
Yeah, so that they found
him.
Yeah, see, it's centered in my area. That one variant.
That's unlucky.
Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't got it.
The cases in the UK are pretty low now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the vaccine rollout was good.
yeah.
I think Italy just passed the milestone of 100,000 deaths from
Oh
COVID.
wow.
Oh,
Crazy.
jeez.
And it's been a year since the measures were imposed, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, to be fair, it's almost been a year for us since lockdown started.
Yeah, it was like March the 16th.
I think it was a day before my mom's birthday, so I think March 23rd or something.
Oh, yeah, somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. It was. Yeah. Hopefully we don't have another lockdown.
The way the vaccines are rolling out in our country, I don't think we're going to.
Yeah, we shouldn't have another lockdown.
Oh yeah, and did you see? I think Joe Biden, he did a $2.9 trillion COVID relief thing.
Stimulus.
Yeah, stimulus.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of that.
2.9 trillion. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading about that this morning. It has a pretty nice connection to economics because apparently a lot of the people who get the stimulus package, the monthly income, they invest most of it. So you have a lot of, people under the age of 30 starting to invest. in companies like GameStop that saw a really sharp increase in share prices. So I thought that was really interesting that people are using that money to invest.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's quite smart idea in a way.
Yeah.
So speaking about the COVID outbreak that happened in Brazil, The Economist actually released a new graphic model that estimates the risk of people from different demographics. So people who have different illnesses or people who are of different ages, and they estimate how much risk they have from being hospitalized or dying from the disease. And I thought it was really interesting because the variation between the death rate of older people, so above 80, doesn't really change with illnesses like heart disease or pulmonary illnesses, which you'd expect to affect the death rate because the virus affects the lungs, but it actually doesn't indicate that, which I found really surprising. It's the difference is much more present with the young people when younger people, so people under the age of 20, when they have diseases such as pulmonary disease or cardiovascular diseases, their risk of being hospitalized or dying increases a lot. So I thought it was really interesting to see that, and I do encourage a lot of you watching right now to go play with that estimated risk graphic thing to see how different people are affected by the disease.
Yeah, I'm looking at the graphic right now. For our age, the risk of death is under 0.1%.
Yeah, it's quite low. But then as the people get older, it increases by a lot.
Yeah. It seems it stays 0.1%. This is if there's no underlying medical conditions, but it only starts to increase after 50.
Right. Yeah.
Quite interesting because before there was quite a lot of confusion about what the actual why the deaths were being caused, like if it was only due to age or underlying conditions or stuff like that. So it's nice to have a kind of thing to measure.
I do think we should say though, despite this graphic showing our really low risk in death, that doesn't mean that you should just avoid all COVID measures because of that.
Yeah.
Though when the hospitalization really starts to peak up after about 50.
Yeah, it starts to really go up. So the deaths start on going up a lot after
about 60. 65.
Yeah, around that age. Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a slight change with male and female.
Yeah, there is actually.
Yeah, they're disproportionately. Yeah, females seem to be less at risk.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that was a actual that caused change.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's weird to see.
Do we know how they come to this data?
Oh, there's a really good explanation of the methodology they use. It's if you scroll down in the article, there's just it's frequently asked questions. I think the most surprising thing about this is for a lot of the data, most of the discrepancy that's between people who don't have underlying medical conditions and people who do is those who have cardiovascular or kidney or liver disease. They have the highest risk of death, which is quite strange because you'd expect people with lung illnesses that affect the lungs or the respiratory system to be very much at risk, but it's quite interesting because they're not as at risk as people who have the kidney or liver diseases.
Yeah. It says here this model was trained on medical records from the COVID-19 research database drawn from more than 425,000 people in America who tested positive between May and December in 2020.
Okay.
So yeah, it's representative of the states, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel it would be closely related to most countries.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Also depends on the healthcare of the country, though. The hospitalization and death.
Yeah.
Because.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't say the states have as good of a healthcare system as the UK.
So, the biggest one of the biggest things in the news right now is the controversy with the Harry and Meghan interview that took place on Sunday, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much consumed the whole media throughout the whole week. And one day ago, there was a very interesting quote that a reporter found or recorded, which was Prince William saying that the royal family is certainly not racist. Instead of I don't know, he could have said many other things that would have made it a lot better.
Yeah.
But I saw this in a Guardian article, and that's not the only article. There's millions of articles about this. But
yeah, it's been all over.
Yeah.
Social media and news articles.
So, what do you think about that? What do you think about his statement?
Well, I think people are not seeing the big picture here, because what was the wedding in 2018? I think
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
So that whole wedding symbolized a progression and ease, and it embraced multicultural Britain's future. And then this interview basically said that it just presented a rather different commentary on not just the royal family, but on race in the UK as a whole. Maybe the royal family isn't a very racist family, but I think the more bigger picture is that they left. It was more because even like the tabloid press was extremely biased, extremely racist to Meghan.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bigger issue. We have this idea that Britain is not racist whatsoever compared to like America, but that's just not very true in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, it's also like along with the royal family, the media kind of exaggerates everything.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So they're kind of making this whole interview and racism thing, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more dramatic than it needs to be, because I don't think that it's worthy of consuming the whole worldwide news, and especially all news in the UK.
Yeah, like speaking about like the Meghan Markle issue, didn't Piers Morgan, like, he recently resigned because of the comments that he made about Meghan?
His comments were extremely out of order, in my opinion.
Yeah. Piers Morgan is just.
Yeah, he's known to do that stuff, but isn't it? I saw something on, I think, Instagram. I found quite ironic with that. It was Piers Morgan left the situation because he was uncomfortable, which is quite ironic based on what Meghan Markle did.
Yeah. And I think a lot of this kind of has a link to the whole Princess Diana thing that happened a while ago now.
Yeah. Because even the lack of support Meghan got from the institution, that completely echoes Princess Diana's experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's one thing with Piers Morgan. He went too far. He was convinced that Meghan was lying about her being suicidal and things like that.
Yeah, that's too far.
That was out of line.
Yeah. It's just with the whole Princess Diana thing, I just think that this is kind of going in the wrong direction with Meghan, because they clearly are racist to some extent, the royal family.
Yeah, of course.
And having them just blatantly deny that and kind of ignore all the allegations kind of makes you think that they don't wish to stop in a way.
Yeah.
I thought Meghan being a part of the royal family was such a good symbol for and like a good progressive way to see the royal family in 21st century, because it's had this, it's been a very, it can be seen as a very backwards institution, but then having a mixed race person join that family, it changes everything. I don't know, and they could have used, it sounds bad to say, but they could have used that to their advantage to show, look, this is what the royal family is now. But
they could have capitalized on, they do in a way represent the colonial past of Britain, and I do agree that they should have taken the opportunity when Meghan did join the royal family to address that issue very intricately to the public.
Also, all this stuff kind of links to the Crown on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Which my
family's watching that.
Yeah, which my family watched, but I haven't. But the season 4, I think, was kind of all related to the whole Princess
Diana story. Diana, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting that it's kind of happening at the same time. It came out quite recently.
I would just think that as William is like the future King of England, I would have thought that Harry would have supported him. As a brother.
His father is the future King of England.
I know Charles, but William is next in line to the throne.
Yeah.
After Charles, so I would have thought that Harry would have supported him better, but it seems like there's like a lack of communication between brothers.
I think in the interview as well, Harry said that they're all trapped. There's no way of escaping, and I think in a way that is true. They're very much, it's like that they have to be a part of this more than a century long institution. But it's quite admirable what Harry did and what to leave the institution, to leave the royal family. Because it was mainly to do with, because I think the royal family, I watched the interview, they said the royal family denied security for their son. Just because the issue, the decision about their son's title and security was to do with how dark his skin might be.
Oh wow.
That was the biggest thing that came from the interview. That was when she was pregnant with her son, I think Archie. Her husband was told they were having conversations with her husband about how dark his skin might be, and that issue was connected to the decision about her son's title and security for the family.
Yeah, it's just all doesn't make any sense. And
but I think it really exposed Britain as quite a racist country. Everyone assumes, it's nothing. It's not nothing, because when you're like looking at in the perspective of America as well, Britain doesn't seem that racist, but there's a lot of institutional racism in this country. That is what I think this interview really exposed. They really addressed that.
Yeah, and it kind of gets reinforced with all of the stuff in the news, especially with the tabloid papers. Because they're kind of agreeing with the royal family's stance on it. And there's lots of things that are against Meghan and against interracial marriage in the royal family.
So I'll be focusing for this week on the disappearance of and the murder of Sarah Everard, the 33-year-old, and how like the beginnings of that. So she left her friend's house to travel across Clapham to Brixton, and then she was last seen at 9:33 on CCTV cameras, and they've arrested a police officer. I think he was 49 years old, and he was off shift at that time at Westminster. So he travelled from Westminster to apparently to Clapham, where she was at the time, and they are connecting him with the murder. And then apparently he brought her down to Kent, and as we know, recently her remains have been identified in the woods, and they've also arrested an assailant as well that has been linked to the murder. So what do you guys think about this murder? Because it's big, it's all across the news. So
yeah, I just think it's quite upsetting. People are still victim blaming Sarah for walking home when it got dark, and it's just that's not the point of what happened. Is people are still thinking women are the problem here, which is just not true. I think it was just she was just trying to go home to her friend's house or something, right?
She left her friend's house to just go back home.
Yeah, it's not. Our society shouldn't be surrounded by this idea that women it's victim blaming. That's not the issue here.
Yeah,
I think I saw on Instagram 90% of women between the age of 18 and 24 have experienced a type of sexual harassment in public spaces.
I think the statistics are higher. It's 97%. I'm just checking the Guardian article right now. That was published on. It's 97% of 18 to 24-year-old women. And it's quite a terrifying statistic. I mean, it's
97%.
There's also a hashtag going around that says #not all men, which again, it's not the point of this. We all know that not all men are rapists or sexual harassers.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this is that it's like the statistic says it all. It's 90% of women. Obviously there is a problem, and then the men that aren't these people should be protecting the women in that sense.
Especially as he was an officer as well. Like, officers supposed to protect. And
I still can't get my head around this 7% statistic.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's almost all people from 18 to 24.
Yeah,
and that's just really not okay, because that's hopefully something that should never happen in your life, but clearly it happens to almost all women.
Yeah, it's not right.
I think if you're a witness to this, you have to speak up, call them out. It's very standard. You can't just be a bystander with stuff like this.
Yeah, like you can't watch along.
Yeah, because that's almost as bad as the actual abuser in that sense.
Yeah, because you're just not helping. You just imagine you're just seeing that, and then you just don't do anything.
Yeah,
because there's also it's a matter of women are so often ignored with this issue, and their abuser most of the time have very little or to none no consequences.
Yeah.
So then I feel that just makes women especially who have been sexually harassed, who have been raped, just not even want to try and speak out in that sense, because they feel like no one's going to listen to them.
Yeah.
Which is quite saddening to think about.
Yeah.
So what happened? There was new findings on the case today morning.
Yeah, the body just got identified, I think. Like the remains they found in the woods. Because they found remains a couple days ago. And then
body found in Kentwood. Missing.
Yeah, so it's been confirmed to be her body. I just saw right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
which links, because the police officer actually lives in Kent. So
okay.
It links.
There are a lot of protests around the UK right now against violence against women.
Yeah.
So the main suspect is the police officer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for listening for today's episode of the Student Lounge. Fun as usual. Again, We would love to have suggestions of what to talk about in the comments. Thanks. We're hoping to be quite consistent with this in the next coming week. So every Friday, hopefully, we can upload one. We're quite happy surprised with how many views we're getting each episode, which is quite nice to see as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully next week we'll have our first guest on this podcast. That's going to be quite exciting. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
All right, we're gonna cut that bye out of there.
That was a bit awkward.
Sure we are.
No, we have to.